Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 24th. Time for our news. I'm Costantino Tsindas. The next period will be decisive in relation to the efforts to resolve the Cyprus problem, said President Anastasiadis, addressing the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. The President said he was absolutely convinced that if all parties, and in particular Turkey, come up with a creative and constructive approach, the solution of the Cyprus problem could be achieved on the basis and within the framework of European principles and values. He further reiterated his determination to work for a solution that will actually reunite Cyprus, will protect all citizens, Greek and Turkish Cypriots, creating a modern state fully compatible with its status as an EU member, and will rise and create the prospects for peaceful coexistence among the inhabitants of the island. Referring to efforts at solving the Cyprus problem over the last 20 months, he said that in spite of the observed remarkable progress, there are still differences and disagreements in a number of issues, most notably those involving property. He noted that during recent months, efforts were focused on the debates on two key chapters: territorial adjustments and security and guarantees. In relation to security, he said that anachronistic arrangements could only cause problems and could not be a response to any reasonable or not concerns of other parties, saying that without ignoring that the need for the safety of a community cannot be a threat to the other, the government has submitted a complete and comprehensive proposal that effectively addresses the concerns of both communities. Referring to the convergences achieved, he said that the internal structure of the Republic will evolve on the basis of a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality of the two communities. The President added that any military guarantees, or worse, intervention rights of any third country were not necessary anymore and were also an anachronism, since, among other things, they affect the independence and sovereignty of a member state of the UN and the EU and were in contrast to the UN Charter and international law. He stressed that whereas the current situation is completely different compared to 1960 or 1974, any presence of Turkish troops or Turkey's guarantee rights after a settlement would be an unbalanced arrangement for the Greek Cypriot community because of the proximity and the military superiority of Turkey, and would be considered as a permanent threat against the Greek Cypriot community. The UN Security Council has welcomed the progress in the negotiations for a Cyprus settlement in recent months, as well as the convening of the Conference on Cyprus, urging all parties to maintain the momentum with a view to securing an historic agreement for a unified Cyprus. The Council was briefed yesterday by the UN Secretary-General's Special Advisor on Cyprus, Espen Barthaida, and the UN Secretary-General's Special Representative in Cyprus, Elizabeth Speha, including the Conference on Cyprus held in Geneva on January 12. Security Council President Olof Skog said that Council members welcome progress made in negotiations in recent months, as well as the convening of a conference for Cyprus in Geneva, which addressed security and guarantees for the first time. Security Council members also commended the steadfast and courageous leadership shown by both Cypriot leaders and the UN for the crucial support it continues to provide. On his part, Espen Barthaida told journalists that this unanimous Council statement was a very strong encouragement to the two leaders, who have really shown true leadership all through these 20 months, but particularly so over the last months, during which it was agreed by both to present maps to each other on very similar percentages, but also to agree to start the International Conference on Cyprus. Referring to the issue of security and guarantees, Ida said, responding to a question, that there are other mechanisms than the familiar ones which can assure that all Cypriots and both communities in Cyprus feel secure. The United States will be eager to participate as a member of the United Nations Security Council when the time is appropriate in their deliberations or their considerations of the Cyprus settlement options, U.S. Ambassador in Nicosia Kathleen Ann Doherty said this morning. Following a meeting in Nicosia with Democratic Rally leader Averof Neophytou, Doherty pointed out that the USA, as a Security Council member, has great interest in the success of the settlement and wants to be supportive. The American ambassador said she was very impressed by the dedication and the courage of the two leaders and of the people here in Cyprus to take some tough decisions about their future. Doherty confirmed that the new administration in Washington will be supportive of the process of the solution and the settlement here. On his part, Neophytou welcomed the position expressed by the US ambassador that her country is eager to be part of the process. That's it for our news. Now look at the weather. Initially clear skies, but later turning overcast with the possibility of isolated showers. Thin dust will settle in the atmosphere. Winds will initially be light to moderate northeasterly to southeasterly, force 3 to 4, and in windward regions, strong force 5, later turning westerly to northwesterly over slight seas. Temperatures will reach 18 degrees Celsius inland and in coastal regions, and 12 over the mountains. The depth of snow on Mount Olympus is 65 centimeters, with 55 in Troodos Square. That's it from us. Join us again tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.